Anti-Afro-Spengalis, I'm sure most of you are asking, what in the hell did I just hear? Well, this is my response to those who've been sending me videos about Umar Johnson's comments when it comes to coronavirus. It's the same thing. Gibberish. Malarkey gibberish. Umar Johnson is a disgrace. So this is what the interpretation is. There is no difference between what you just heard and what Umar Johnson is saying. Now, before I go on with this video, I wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of the links that I posted on the bottom to the World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control, and to encourage everybody to practice prevention strategies to reduce the risk of contracting coronavirus. Please read the resources. Do not get caught up in this gibberish that Umar Johnson is trying to spew, because it's only for one purpose: keep up the ridiculous conspiracy theory. Not even a conspiracy theory. Umar Johnson is actually a compulsory theorist. I won't even call it conspiracy theory, because it is ridiculous, people. He continues to make up lies specifically for the purpose of keeping the attention on him. So if he has the attention, he thinks he's going to have the money. Well, put yourself as a priority, not Umar Johnson scamming. Now, also, I want to talk about a stellar, undeniable example of how and why the white folks keep it together when it comes to fraud. We have talked about this before. I have never stated fraud is non-existent in the white community. We know fraud exists in every community. My focus is on the divergent responses to fraud, and I'm illustrating this. We have to first be thankful that although the coronavirus is a very dreadful tragedy, from tragedy always comes something positive. Now, this situation is evolving, but we already know that it's going to impact, or is impacting, Umar Johnson's Hyena Yelps. Impacting the Hyena Yelps, which were already being shut down. Umar Johnson doesn't want to tell you. He was supposed to speak at a church in Los Angeles. You see it right here. And what happened? He got booted. So it was already in motion, the coronavirus, because of the safety concerns. Who in the hell do you think is going to put themselves behind Umar Johnson? Who's going to put their children behind Umar Johnson and go out there and venture to a Hyena Yelp? Do you remember what Umar was saying to the one mother, I think she was from Texas, who didn't want to come out? It was snowing. And he went on and was badgering her and abusing her because she didn't want to come see his funky ass.
Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Cedar Hill.
Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill, Texas?
Yes.
How far is that from Dallas?
I think about like maybe 20, less than 20 miles away from Dallas.
You coming to the lecture today?
I really wasn't. I'm not going to lie, because I just found out.
So I came all the way to Dallas, and you ain't going to come out to support me. All the children are free, so tell me why she not coming with her 5 kids. So when I talk to you and you tell me that you live 15 minutes from this venue that I'm paying the rent, Texas theater is not cheap. Texas theater is not cheap to rent it. Texas theater is not cheap. And you call and you have a question, but you live 15 minutes away from where I'm speaking at. And your children are free, the elders are free, and you're not going to come, but I just flew several hundred miles. Okay, probably more than 1,000 miles I flew. Your daughter got 5 children and she won't be at the lecture today. Is that what you're telling me? She got 5 babies, and the only school psychologist helping y'all is 20 minutes from your house, and y'all not going to come out. Rather call and get a question answered than come and hear me when all your children are free and you got 5 of them. You got 5 babies.
I can assure you that Umar Johnson will have the same attitude, but the people who run the facilities aren't going to let it happen. So he doesn't have any control over this. So I'm going to move on to tell you what's going on here. I have stated it many, many times, and I will continue to state it. There is not a thing wrong with people who seek to make money and a profit, earn a living, work on the side, hustle, however you want to characterize it. Criminal behavior is another thing. So this is what happened. Check it out. It goes back to what I've been saying about how frauds are handled in different communities. If we do what I'm going to be telling you happened to these two white Umar Johnsons, Umar Johnson would have been taken care of much sooner than he already has been. When I say taken care of, he's on his way out, but it wouldn't have taken this long. So here's what happened. These two white boys out of Tennessee, the day that the coronavirus, like it hit the airwaves, this is before the national state of emergency was declared. So they got a jump on it, got in their van and went to the different stores, not only in their state, but in other states, and cleaned the shelves of hand sanitizers and wipes and all the things people are scrambling to buy. This was before the coronavirus was classified as a pandemic, which means something that's impacting an entire country or the world. So in anticipation of what came to be, where we are today, these two white Umar Johnsons, these two biological brothers, bought more than 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer. I say more because they did manage to sell 300 bottles on Amazon.com, charging between $7 and $70 a bottle. Now, I get this stuff, which I bought long before this unfortunate situation has occurred. 4 ounces, I get them at the 99-cent store. I just continuously buy them. So I have a lot of hand sanitizers. 99 cents. And so that is what they did. Between $7 and $70, Amazon.com shut them down. So now they say they are stuck with 17,000 bottles. Now, am I going to sit here and say only white folks complained? Because how else would Amazon know unless people are complaining? I would venture to guess white folks turned them in. If you don't want to accept that, we can confirm that white folks shut them down, which is the goal that we need to achieve with Umar Johnson. So let me carry this further because it's not over just with Amazon.com shutting them down, canceling their account. The Attorney General of Tennessee has prohibited them from selling any medical supplies. They filed a cease and desist order. They are not able to sell medical supplies, and this falls under the category of medical supplies because they had other wipes and everything as well. So do you see what happens when the people who get involved need to be involved? Now, the fact that this is a national or worldwide crisis, in one respect, is irrelevant. I'm trying to get you to look at the message and the strategy and the outcome that occurs when people band together and make it known that fraud and deceit and abuse is among them. So no one's going to convince me that there's any benefit from allowing other black people to be abused by their own. For what? There's no purpose in that. And what happened with these two Umar Johnsons needed to happen. I'm glad it happened. It should have never been necessary, but we do know there are scambaggers everywhere. The difference is how they are handled and how quickly they are handled. That is the lesson in this. This is the reason why I created the channel FDMG Fraud in Wilmington, Delaware, because Umar Johnson, although he knows his time is limited, he's still desperate for the money. So he's going to continue to run the scam until he is shut down. So the strategy with the FDMG Fraud in Wilmington, Delaware channel is to put the spotlight on this fraud in a situation that is more isolated, that is easier to identify, that doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Because all the officials know about the site where the Moyer Academy used to operate because it was a big production when it was shut down. So the attention is there. They are going to be honing in on this fraud, Umar Johnson, who has invaded their city. And they guarantee you are going to do something about it. I don't care if there's too many crooks in Philly or the state of Pennsylvania, that there just isn't enough effort and time to get all of the crooks, including Umar Johnson. It doesn't mean he's not engaging in criminal behavior. Some people just don't get it. You know, there are criminals that you are very much aware are engaging in criminal activities on a daily basis. Don't sit here and say because Umar Johnson is an agent and all this other bullshit that he's not been held accountable 100%. Don't mistake the other obvious fact, or maybe it's not so obvious to some people. He has been negatively impacted. Do you see he's too terrified to do teleabuse sessions anymore because people have taken a stand and they're not gonna let it happen. They're gonna robocall him into oblivion. That's why he decides to go on to, was it Instagram, and do whatever he does. I don't even freaking want to even get into it, but we see he doesn't do the teleabuse anymore. We succeeded. And I want to thank you out there, all of you who decided enough is enough. He has had Hyena Yelps canceled, which I talked about a few minutes ago. He's trying to cover it up, but we saw how it blew up when he went on with these death threats. The pressure is not going to be released. The hand is not going to be taken off of the jugular, because Umar Johnson's only existence is to try to target other Black people, hoping and praying that they won't speak up. And we are proving him wrong. This situation with these two white Umar Johnsons in Tennessee is how it's supposed to happen. Let's make it happen. Let's not sit around and wait for somebody else to do something. They won't do anything if you don't speak up. Now, this message, again, is for those who are willing to take action. If you don't want to take any action, you don't want to take any action. Fine. Don't take action. But this channel is for those who are interested in being motivated and getting support to stand up for our people and do the right thing. This is not a debate channel about whether Umar Johnson is a fraud or a scambagger. That's already been established. So you all can go and develop your own channel somewhere else if you want to lick Umar Johnson's nasty ass, crusty feet. Okay, go right ahead and do it. In the meantime, stay tuned for more videos to come. We are just getting started. It's like a new birth with the new FDMG Fraud in Wilmington, Delaware channel. It's growing. I'm going to be posting more videos. Please be sure to check it out. In the meantime, recheck yourself. Put yourself in a position to maintain your dignity, respect, and your bank account. And you can do that best by heeding the warning. Fire. Be